buys into the philosophy. And it's hard to do when you've been successful in the league. You've been doing it a certain way. Him under Mike Shula, he had a certain measure of success, peaked out where he was the MVP of the league, but he hadn't been able to duplicate that success, and he's not gotten better in passing the football from a percentage standpoint. I believe North Turner can take him, and what they have to do from a scheme standpoint, they have to give him some easier throws, also throwing the ball sideways. That's one way to be able to get your percentage way up and throwing the ball to the running backs. They can add these two things because Cam is good at throwing the ball down the field. They're great at play action pass. Adding those things, I think it will help Cam's confidence. So it's important how well they do early. As a veteran player, if he gets success early, he's more apt to buy into it. Okay. If he struggles early, he'll revert back to his old style, which he had some success at.
Listen, part of Cam's low career completion percentage is on him, his lack of development in the fundamentals, his lack of development as a passer, and part of it is on the system he's been running. They've been running a deep shot offense where your yards per attempt are going to be typically in the top 10 of the league, but your completion percentage is not because you're taking so many deep shots. Now, Cam also, on the easy throws, has been erratic. Cam is at times a better deep passer than he is short throw passer. He wouldn't be, the Cam Newton we've seen in the past years, wouldn't be hyper successful in a Patriot-style offense where it's a bunch of quick, easy throws. He has to get better at that, but the coaching staff also can put him in a better position to succeed. This is a guy that when we were talking about last year, you said that if Cam Newton, that if he doesn't end up as a Hall of Famer, he will not view himself as a success because of the level of talent that he has. He's now old enough and long enough into the league where any deficiency in his game, and accuracy is the biggest deficiency, needs to be what he spends all of his time and energy on. I think now he has a coaching staff in place that will help him with that.
I believe that the coaching staff did the best for Cam for him to be successful. A lot of Cam is his football IQ, and does he have the anticipation? So Cam has been playing long enough that it's time to stop making excuses, either for Cam or the organization. North Turner's one of the best in the business. If Cam doesn't grow, it's Cam's fault, all right? He knows enough football, but can he get better at releasing it, timing it, seeing the windows, and trusting those things? That's a Cam Newton issue, I believe, more so than a coaching issue and what they did for him in the past issue.
All right, a lot to see with that one. Let's get back to basketball now. Rockets and Warriors finally gave us the matchup we've been waiting for. You know, the one where one team isn't blowing out another team. Tough, close, Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Rockets edging Golden State, handing them their first playoff loss at home since 2016. That despite a monster third quarter from Steph, dropping 17 in the period. We are tied at 2 games apiece in that series as it now heads back to Houston. Here is Steph Curry after the game.
We played really well in that first 6-7 minutes and made it tough on them, but they're a great team, so whether you extend the lead or not, it's a 48-minute game, and we have plenty of chances to come down the stretch and win the game. So, not a ideal situation after the way we started, but like the fight that we showed.
I felt like in the fourth quarter, we just ran out of gas. We scored 12 points. Tried to buy a little bit of rest for our guys, but yeah, they just outplayed us in the fourth, and they earned it.
That'll happen. Fatigue will make you tired.
Yeah, the running out of gas is exactly what happened, Jenna.
Yeah, that's what they did. Draymond Green, didn't he? He played like the entire fourth quarter.
Listen, Draymond Green, season high in minutes by 5 full minutes. KD, season high in minutes. Steph, most minutes he played in a non-overtime game. Clay, second most minutes he played in a non-overtime game. These guys haven't had to go 40-plus minutes. They did period point blank because of the way Steve Kerr rests those guys. I mean, we saw Kerr in NBA Finals games rest guys to begin fourth quarters. He is judicious with his minutes, but no Andre Iguodala. The importance of the game. Now all of a sudden these guys they expend so much energy with that amazing third quarter push. And then when the Rockets punched back, all of a sudden the Rockets, D'Antoni's been criticized this year for playing his guys too many minutes, playing his starters long into blowouts. Well, the Rockets are used to playing 40-plus minutes. The Warriors are not. That showed up in, that was the worst quarter. Fewest baskets made in a quarter, fewest points in a quarter the Warriors have had under Steve Kerr in the playoffs ever. Like, it showed up. Their legs were gone.
And Clay was banged up. He strained his knee earlier, and you could see that they couldn't rest him. So you talk about, wow, Iggy's out. Well, the fact is, man, you can't go too much deeper, and when you do go deeper, you're not going to get a wing player. So Clay had to rough it out. So he was playing, limping around, and Clay, to me, the last possession, when Durant had the ball, Clay didn't look like he wanted that shot, and didn't have a whole bunch of shots, only 10 points in the game. You could see the effect, but they've got an embarrassment of riches. When you sign Kevin Durant, you commit to, I'm not going to have a deep bench. So in getting Kevin Durant and having another superstar, if you get into a battle like they got into last night, you don't have the subs. You don't have a deep bench. And the thing, Nick, you mentioned a couple other times, the way they have that roster. They have too many centers on their roster, and it hadn't come back to hurt them because they didn't need the roster spot. But with Iggy being out, you got Nick, go through it. I mean,
their only wing players on the bench were Nick Young, who was awful, Sean Livingston, who they were outscored by 15 points when he was on the court, and Quinn Cook, who played for 2 minutes, and then they realized, listen, he's a good story. He's not yet a good player. He's a good story as far as going to being a G League player, being a two-way contract, then getting a guaranteed deal. He's not ready for this moment. Who was dressed and healthy that didn't play for them? Damian Jones, center. JaVale McGee, center. Zaza Pachulia, center. David West, power forward. So, like, they had guys on the bench they could have played, but they're all big men. But I am going to – go ahead.
No, and one thing that they're good at is you see when Golden State gets on a roll, pay into their bench. Watch their bench. Their antics and everything, man, they're up and down the sideline. That's what they do best, Jenna. They don't want the coach to say, hey, get in the game. And that's what they have to do now, and they ran into that problem in game number 4 last night.
And here's the other thing, though. When your offense is stagnant, when you are trying to stave off a comeback, when all of a sudden Steph and Clay have gone cold. Steph, 1 of 8 in the fourth quarter. Clay didn't make a shot after 3:30 left in the third. Guess what? Kevin Durant, please stand up. I was told Kevin Durant is unguardable. I was told that when Kevin Durant, the ultimate luxury, because you don't have to run a play, you can throw it to him in the high post, and no matter who's guarding
most
dangerous scorer maybe ever since I heard all this stuff. Kevin Durant can't make 1 basket on 5 shots in the fourth quarter in their most important game of the year. Can't do it. Like, the good and the bad with Steph is, the good is we've never seen anything like him when he's on. The bad is sometimes, like, he's not as reliable on a minute-by-minute basis as KD has been and is supposed to be. This was a time where KD is supposed to stop that Rockets run. Give me the ball, I will score. He made 1 bucket in the fourth quarter. That ain't great.
And that last possession, he didn't want that shot. He didn't look like it. And I believe Harden stripping him in the second quarter had an effect on him bringing the ball up at the end of the game.
This Warriors team, they have this ability to come out, make it look easy, and then hang back for a bit and be like, we can coast our way through because muscle memory is going to take us to the end. Because we'll make the last shot. Because if I don't, KD will, or Clay, someone will make the last shot. They rest too much on their laurels. And I wonder what happened last night. Was it more of that coming out to a 12-0 run? Was it more the fatigue, or was it more that they were missing Iggy and Clay?
Listen, your first point is a great one. Because you see that game to game, and you sometimes see it quarter to quarter. Where the Warriors, if they are locked in, if they are not turning the ball over, if they're locked in defensively, no one's beating them. But once they get casual, once they get sloppy, either because they blew you out the night before or they blew you out the quarter before,
stop them.
And what they're not used to is a team punching back after that third quarter.
This is the most talented team that they faced in this run.
Yes.
Okay? They were locked in last night. Houston took it from them. You score 12 points after having those types of players, all right? Give the other team some credit. Houston took it from them. Let's not make excuses for Golden State. That was a Houston win, not Golden State lost it. That was a great ball game.
All right, coming up, why does Big Ben keep talking about his backup? Why does he keep talking, period? That's next. First.